welcome to week 3 of virtual rugby with Mac and Snooki. Just wanted to start off this week with some reflections from last week. Definitely was excited to see a little bit more participation. We had about 15 participants on our Zoom call on Thursday, which was excellent, seeing more girls adding onto the flip grid, introducing themselves. So thank you for that. Not gonna lie, we were a little sad that we didn't get a video of the Cupid Shuffle, but we did see people working together in other ways as a team. So we're gonna let that slide. I hope you guys had fun at least doing the Cupid Shuffle. Just meant to be a little fun, a little silly. And then I just wanted to share with you one of the best things that happened last week is I had one of your teammates send me a video of her practicing her tackling form, and she had asked me for any tips. It really made my week. It's showing me that girls are out there, that they're working on their skills, that they're working on being better. And it really just showed a lot of leadership. It showed thinking outside of the box and willing, to put in that extra work. And so that's what's prompted us for our lesson for week 3 of virtual rugby. We're going to be talking about a little bit of leadership and roles.
Yeah, ladies. And so kind of when Mac and I have been brainstorming about what does leadership mean? And obviously we all have our own kind of definition of what that means. And so I wanted to share my definition of leadership and started off with a quote. It says, if actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you're a leader. And when we think about what does that mean, it's not about you getting the kudos or the kind of show or fame for being a leader. It's about really being somebody who helps drive people's motivation, somebody who is putting in the work in the hopes that you're not only building yourself up, but you're building the people around you up to help get to your level. And when I think about a leader and a leader for rugby, it's taking small things and giving somebody encouragement. It means going out of your way to check in with somebody. Mac talked about last week about, the minutes that she wanted to play for her own personal goals, but also about a teammate who didn't get to meet their goal. And the way she talked about wanting to, should she have given up her time so the other person could succeed in her goal, that's leadership. It's saying, I will give up, I will sacrifice myself for the greater good to know that I'm bettering somebody else and that I'm giving up or supporting their goal to do what they need to do, because all that does is make us all as a team better. That would be my somewhat definition of what a leader is. Mac, what's yours?
Absolutely. Being a leader is difficult. And like you had stated, it's not about getting that recognition. It's about selflessness, and it is about sacrifice. And a lot of the times your feelings and your thoughts are kind of put on the back burner. It's what do I have to do for the betterment of the team? What do I have to do to make sure that my teammates are successful? It's putting the team on your back. And being a strong individual. And yes, there are going to be moments where you're tired and where you're fatigued. And that's where, your teammates have to rally and they have to make sure that we're supporting our leaders. I also think that leadership is being creative and thinking outside of the box, right? So we might send out an instructions on how to do something, and you don't have to follow that to a T. It really is taking it and having fun and making it your own. That's the best kind of leaders. Is they're not going to follow suit. They're not just going to do what they're told. They're going to go above and beyond. They're going to be creative. They're going to think of different ways. How can we make sure that we still have rugby when we're quarantined? It's thinking and it's being creative. But it takes a lot. And with even just of leadership on a team, there's other roles that are identified on a team. And Snooki, what might some of those roles be?
Yeah, I just have to add one more point. When you were talking, it brought me back to when we talk on the field about at practice, do the skill, not the drill, right? So if we're asking you to do something, we don't have to follow it to a T. It's get creative. And how do you learn that skill, but use the people around you or use the things that you have around you? And with that being said, what are the other roles in the team, right? So we have leaders, but we can't be a team full of leaders, right? Because we have to have followers. I don't like that word, but people who support the leader, right? And that when we think of some of these big icons, some of these big leaders in our nation or in our history, Martin Luther King Jr. Is one of those big leaders. And when we think about who he is and what he did, he didn't do that alone. there was many people who supported him who we don't even know their names. And I was watching a video that I encourage all of you to watch. It's by Natalie Wayne. It's called Being Young and Making an Impact. And so at the time it's a TED Talk. When she did the talk, she was, I think, 18 years old or 19 years old. And she led a movement to help support these innocent soldiers in Africa who were little kids that were being forced to kill different people within their community, even their family and friends. And she led, along with a lot of other people, a movement to sign a bill. And so she talks about the big achievement she had was be able to get Oprah to support her in the cause to send this bill through. And she talked about that it's not about these big Oprah moments that was great for her. It's about the acts she did and the people around her to get to sign that bill, because ultimately that was the goal. And so when we think about roles, it's how do I support the leader? So if I'm being a really great supporter or teammate and the leader's trying their hardest and they're going that extra mile to support their teammate, I'm going to do it too, right? If we have somebody who's really not great at endurance and they're running suicides and they're by themselves, well, I'm not going to let them do that alone, right? So the leader might step up and do that, and maybe me as another person would follow that along too. But it's finding ways to be who you are, to be where you're comfortable, but also stepping up. It's taking that little extra step to say, maybe I'm not the voice. Maybe I'm not somebody who's going to give great speeches like Mac, but maybe I'm somebody who can sit there and say, yeah, I'm with you. Whatever you say, I'm going to be there. I'm going to support you. And maybe that's one of the ways Mac and I really bounce off each other is it's mental, right? When we're in the middle of a game and she's like doing her best, she walks on the field, I get geeked. And then when she's dogging it, what I'm saying to her is, hey, check in, like it's go time. And for her, that's all it is. For me, her stepping on the field is huge. For me to say, check yourself. It's those moments. It's those little ways that we support each other and do what we need to do. And it's finding how our relationship works and how we can say these things or do these things in a way that is helpful.
Absolutely. And I know I think we hit on this even last spring. We had kind of a big talk about roles and how every single person is so important to the team. And that's what makes it dynamic. Whether you're an injured player and you're coming to volunteer to record the game, that's huge. Whether you're just showing up to practice with enthusiasm, that's huge. And we all have a role to take in the team. And I guess, we think about Hamilton Rugby and what movement, what mission are we trying to accomplish? And it really is all of us thinking about, what role do I have so that I can make this team the best team possible? And it's buying in and it's believing. It's believing in these talks. It's believing in something bigger than ourselves. And that's really where it comes into our family. And developing this, and this is going to carry on. We might not see the impacts of what this spring is going to be right now, but we're going to see it when we're back on the pitch, whether that's in summer or in fall. And we're going to see our hard work put in to be a closer team, to understand the roles that we have, to understand the work that we have to put in. And I just, I really, this week, we're going to be doing some self-reflection, reflecting what role do you have on the team? Are you willing to give everything that you can to support the team, to support the betterment of the team? And we have a lot of roles that are going to be leaving us this spring. We have some amazing seniors, whether, it's someone having to step up in the leadership and determination of a Hannah Firsch, or someone coming in as the reliability and the composure of Taylor, or the fierceness of Jesse, the aggressiveness of Allie, or the smarts of Mia. Every single one of our seniors have brought something amazing to this team. And I'm so excited to start seeing girls stepping into those roles and taking that challenge. And ladies, together, we can be something amazing. And this is how champions are built. This is where character is built. These little moments where we think it doesn't matter or no one's watching. We're not playing, so why does it matter? It matters. And we will see the results of this when we are back on the pitch. So that's what we have for this week, ladies. Snooki, do you have anything to wrap up?
I was just going to say, I'm like all full of quotes today, but when you were just talking, the difference between an ordinary team and an extraordinary team is that little extra. And when I think about that and think about how do we use that as a way to think about rugby and how we can't be on the field together, it's doing those little extra things, like download the IRB rugby app on your phone and learn a new rule, right? Maybe clarify some laws that you thought you knew and maybe you don't. Maybe it's understanding a little bit more about what each rule means and why, and then share it with a friend, share it with Mac and I. Maybe it means you are like, hey, you know what, I can do a tackle video too. Send it to Mac, send it to me. Let us know that, hey, I'm working, I'm doing things, I want to get better, and there's ways that we can still do that. The other thing is thinking about asking questions and thinking about kind of what role can I play. If you don't know who maybe you are or how you fit in this team, reach out, because we would love to explore that with you. And what your role is as a freshman or your first season, it's going to change. I mean, as you as you grow through rugby and learn your different, whether it's a position or whether it's kind of what you do within the team, all of that changes because the team changes. And so it's thinking about what can you bring now? What can you bring to this spring season, to right now, to this team? I think about Mac and I, we've been on this quest of how do we coach virtually? And we talked a little bit about that before too, but I look forward to these every Sunday meetings of us talking about the things that we love, which is rugby, and supporting all of you. And it gives me encouragement. It gives me a lot of fight to say, hey, I can't wait to get back on the field because I know what we're thinking about and the hopes of what all of you are thinking about. It's that little extra.
Let's continue to fight to be extraordinary together, ladies. This is where our passion is developed. This is where our heart is developed. Constantly thinking about rugby, constantly thinking about better. I promise you, ladies, that when we get back on the pitch, we're all going to be back on the pitch together. And so let's be better. Let's be extraordinary when we get there. So I hope everybody has a great week. Please continue to participate. We are going to send out a little link. We would love to do a competition at some point. And so please just say if yes, you would be interested in and going above and beyond to help, go through it and do a competition and work together. Be creative, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. We're getting through this. We miss you all. And we hope to see you on Thursday at our Zoom meeting. So keep being extraordinary.